Everyone, John here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a short trade wave pattern on crude oil here. So our first target is going to be at 43.90, nice fast little move down. Secondary target's going to be a small little push back down, 77. We'll go to 80 for that final target right here. Now, the way that today has been on crude oil has been quite bearish, but at the same time, we did start the day with quite a bit of a range, if not a little bit of bullishness, right? We had a little correction down here. They faded back up to a new high, and then they just got hammered to the downside. And that big push down gave a large wave pattern right here. And if you were a little bit nervous about the larger wave pattern, we're getting another one that's firing off right here, a nice little intermediate wave pattern to push price back down. Now, the first target is coming off a little bit farther down here from our entry price, $43.99, taking 2 off at 9 ticks. So we're taking 18 off there. And then we're looking for another push down for the final target here at 80, and that's going to be 19. So that's 2 off at 19, 2 off at 9, and we're looking at a relatively strong move overall to the downside, but we're not getting greedy on it. So we're looking for 56 ticks to the downside. Now, the reason that we're not looking for a big push down here back to 64, 63s, in that area, is primarily because we already had a very large wave pattern that hit, and they've already hit their targets. So we're looking to pick up a small little sort of an afterburner, if you will, of the move down, but I'm not anticipating a much larger push back down, at least not on a small little wave pattern like this. There could be one on a larger wave pattern, even encompassing the entire move down, but on the smaller one, it's unlikely that we're going to push back down to the lows. So because of that, I'm going to be looking to take my target at 43.80 instead and just stack my profit there. So we do have a nice rejection. You can see the buyers tried getting up and then they failed back down, and that formed the wave back to the downside. So we are seeing the buyers failing again underneath the BMT. We're getting everything in the correct direction. A 1, 2, 3 reversal in the other direction. We have a nice wave pattern coming from that. They came right into the trigger zone a little bit early, and now you can see they actually came back and they're doing it again. So we are seeing some reasoning behind the sellers resuming this move down, but based on the choppiness that we're seeing right now, again, I'm not anticipating a giant push back down to the lows. So we'll give it a little bit of time here, short from 43.99, looking for 43.90, just a quick little 9-tick first target, and then the second target coming off at 43.80 for 19. So we'll be back in a little bit, see if we can get that 9-tick target hit. All right, seeing the sellers push down, we get our first target filled. Now, because it's such a small first target, you do have a couple different options. You can move your stop to break even and lock out all of the extra risk, or you can leave your stop back and wait until they try to break the low of the swing. Because it's such a small trade, I really don't want to give anything back. And because there's not a ton of profit built into that first one at only 9 ticks, I don't want to give it a chance to really take anything back on that either. So I'm going to lock my stop in to break even at 98, knowing that I might get whipped out. But in this type of situation where it's such a small first target, I'm okay with that. We've got 2 locked in at 9, so we've got $180 locked in already. And if it comes back on us, well, then we'll just take it at +1 and take 2 more out of the market. But for now, we're waiting for a break below this swing low here at 43.86. And if we can break below that, we should be okay to push down to that next area, targeting 43.80. All right, so we're pushing back down into the lows. I've locked my stop into 43.94 because we came 1 tick towards our target. We missed our target by 1 tick and had a little bit of a pullback because, again, it's such a small wave pattern. I didn't want to move my stop down on a reversal bar because it's very likely that it could happen, especially with this amount of choppiness. So wait for it to correct, see if you can stay in the trade. If it turns back around, then you can lock your stop down a little bit, which is why I've got my stop at 94. I don't want to see this high broken on this small swing. So we need to see them break down here. We're 1 tick away again. Now, because this would be a double bottom if it turns higher, now I'm comfortable moving my stop down to a reversal bar. So if it does reverse on us, then we'll take our stop and we'll call it good. But we gave it enough room. We gave it all the room it should need. Now we just need to see the sellers continue back through this low. But because of the double bottom, again, if it does turn up into a reversal bar, I really don't want to play around with a reversal bar off of a double bottom in a relatively range-bound environment. Not exactly the cup of tea that I'm looking for. So I really want to see them break down now and get that target rather than turning back in the other direction. So we've come one tick away. Again, this is kind of the issue when you run into situations where you're getting a little bit more range bound. The moves can take a little bit longer. Not to mention today doesn't have any news. There's no news today. There we go. We got it filled. So that's going to slow down the market. A lot of participants have already left. We're going on 11:30. This is typically lunchtime for a lot of people that are calling it quits. So a nice final little wave pattern to wrap up the day. 2 off at 9, 2 off at 19. We got both of them filled, and that's 56 ticks to wrap up and go into the afternoon. So $560 on the trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to shoot an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.